We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast from Boersma for Dummies. And so I think this is going to be a section for thinking. So Albert Einstein says you can never solve a problem on the level it was created. What do you all think about that?
I think it's hard to go ahead and get above the level that whatever the problem was created, it's hard to rise above it.
What
I mean, it's
what do you all
fair.
think? What do you all think about what Rosanna shared?
I think it depends on how much the want, how big the want is to um fix it or to solve it, whatever.
Nora, your thoughts?
Just like hearing the phrase makes me think of like you have to think outside the box. So you kind of put the problem in a box and you have to be able to think outside of it to be able to solve it.
Nice. Anita?
I don't know that I have any thoughts about that right now.
Um, so Elaine is connecting dots as it relates to the 5 levels of want. So there's a man in my life that when he's in his 40s now, when he was in his 30s, he said, I've accomplished everything I wanted to in my life. I'm married, I have kids, and I have a home and a good job. And so, how do you say he's not the most engaged husband in the world, not the most engaged father in the world, not the most attentive, has a lot of his own stuff, hobbies. And so it's almost like, well, I've achieved everything I'm going to achieve. Now I can enjoy the rest of life. And so on this here, it's the center. Like, so when you're going in from one dimension to another, like you're in a dimension and we have problems. If we stay in that dimension too long, we're going to have problems. We just are. And so this that we're working on, Anita and I are working on together. So I talked to Kenny last night and I'm like, you have an opportunity to take charge. Like you're the one that came up with it. I said ratchet principle, lock in the thing. So I gave you an opportunity to be a man and jump in and take charge, but you're getting your ass handed to you. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Don't say that, kids. You're getting beat by Anita, a girl. like do you like and so to me it's just puzzling. It's like, do you not understand? Like I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Here, here we have the ratchet. And so the quantum feeling model, it seems like I wonder if all feelings connect back down into either thankfulness, humility, and ownership, or if people go ahead and the reverse of that, entitlement, self righteousness, and victimhood. And they don't even realize, like, people will watch podcasts and it's like it's so clear that it's about them, not only about them. The podcast wasn't developed for them, but this applies to them, and they can't see if literally if their life does depend on it, and the lives of other people around them depend on it, and they still can't get it. It's I mean, it's mind boggling to me. Can anybody help me understand this? So if I go ahead and change that, do you think the intensity is what shuts you all down? If I said it like, um, it seems like people, they just don't, they just don't get it, even if their life, the lives of other people around them are at risk. Um, can any of you help? It seems like they don't get it. Like, they just don't get it. Can any of you help me explain that?
I don't think that, well, yeah, maybe it does. I was going to say, I don't think the intensity shuts us down, but yeah, maybe it does.
I mean, you responded quicker this time. so, so it's like, is there any thoughts on this? Like, I went through never in my life. I mean, I went through one of the coolest podcasts ever on the white male over 50. And somebody had asked me about being a pathological liar. And so I was excited about it. Like that one really is really cool. And it's like, like, like it was a situation about driving, and person A was saying person B, the driver, was doing a good job driving, but yet they're taking Snapchat videos and posting it. They're obviously driving and taking videos where they're driving, so their hands aren't on the wheel and they're not paying attention to the road. They're focused on that. They're not looking at the other things that could kill them, or they could kill other things. So they're obviously not. And when asked the person about it, like, well, the reflex was defensive. It was like, well, I mean, at the time I was doing it, I mean, she was driving well, just like that, like shaking everything. So when other people shake, I shake too. I'm like, okay. So when she was driving poorly, did you go ahead and snap? Did you go ahead and text people and say she's driving poorly? No. If your child comes home and tells you they have good grades, I have an A, but they don't tell you they have a D. Well, what is that? Well, that's lying or deception, one or the other. So what I've become super attentive, which I know you all women are gonna love this, like on how they take certain pieces of data to make them look really good, and they leave out data that makes them look bad. Is that lying or deception or both? so the thing that brought up the whole thing about me being, a pathological liar is I went ahead and said, the three of you were asking about. So I won't ever make that. And then the person said, I don't know that I think you'll dismiss it. I'm, yeah, no, it's not going to be dismissed. I mean, is it going to be, now that you have this standard for other people, you're going to have the standard for yourself? Yeah, probably. Unless I want it to be a 10 and then you don't grow. So the mindset, like driving, is such a perfect example because it's so real life and death. Like, you can't go ahead. You cannot go ahead and be a good driver 90% of the time without massive risk. Like, all you have to do is make one mistake, you die or somebody else dies. And it seems like people, and I would say women too, but there's some men, women seem to be like, it's just wild to me on how you can have a child in the back seat and the child's asking for food or water or something, and the driver, often the mom, is getting them. It's like you're putting the child and other people at risk because your child's hungry. Like it's just weird. It's just weird on the decision making process. And so people aren't internalizing like things. I mean, so do you just have to tell somebody, you suck as a driver, and I can tell you suck as a driver, even though I've never driven with you, because you're not focused, you're distracted, you're here and there and everywhere, and there's always a reason. Don't get things done, gonna do it tomorrow. Like didn't get this done, didn't do that. And you always have in your own mind. You always have a reason in your own mind, and that reason is preventing you from growing. And you know what? Just because somebody told you, 2 years ago that you were a great student doesn't mean you're a great student now. And just because you're a great student in one thing doesn't mean you're a great student in everything. Like that's not a hard concept to understand. And so it seems like with women, you have to go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. But when you do, they somehow have this wall. They don't, like, nobody's ever told me that. Problem number two, you're not receptive. You're dismissive. You're a dismissive person. People know you're dismissive, so people are not going to tell you the truth. Anita, your thoughts on it?
I'm gonna pass.
Right? So you've helped me a lot. Like Nora said that one of the reasons she doesn't share things with me is because she thinks I'm dismissive. I'm like, are you kidding? No, she's
I'm
not.
not sure.
You know, Anita, she doesn't think I'm dismissive. She just knows everything's going to get flipped. I think that's fair. Would that be fair, Anita?
Um, I would say both. Dismissive and you flip everything.
Ooh, that's what Nora said. She says, "Well, aren't they both the same?" No, they're not any close. Do you think you just dismiss things?
Yeah, sometimes.
Is it okay?
Not always.
Not always. Do you care if you kill somebody because you're not a attentive driver? Does it matter to you if you'd kill somebody? Would that bother you at all?
Yeah, that would bother me.
Yeah, I can see that. Mom, child, they died. Yeah. Now, Nora, she's really good with tone. Well, she is with me. Are you equally good, Nora, with tone with others?
Yeah, I think I noticed it in myself too.
Okay. So, um, can you explain to Anita what her tone is conveying?
Um, I think I hear like frustration, like she doesn't want to talk about it, irritation, I don't know, some of that in it.
Okay. Anybody else want to convey what they heard from Anita's tone?
That
Maybe.
maybe it would bother her, maybe it wouldn't.
Is that what you tried to communicate, Anita?
More of the frustration because stuff like this, if people nag and keep bringing stuff up, it irritates me and I'm more likely to block them out.
Right. I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna
I'll
lynch.
listen, but like it's my responsibility to like yeah. I don't feel like it's other people's responsibility to force me to internalize stuff. Like that's on me. Like not like and it goes for me too. Like like let's say that I have a sibling that's not a Christian. Um, I can tell them what I think about the way that they're living, but if I keep like throwing it into their face, they're not gonna they're not gonna want to be a Christian. Like if I keep coming back at them like I think you're doing this and this and this wrong, then they're gonna see it as, oh, well, you think you're better than me, and if that's how all Christians are, then I don't even want to be like that. And
Right.
that's kind of like where I'm starting to get with the whole driving thing.
Right. Because you don't you don't take what Rosanna said. You don't internalize anything she said. You're giving the impression you don't really care about if you hit a woman and her children. That's the impression that Rosanna got from your voice and tone. I wonder if that's there. I wonder if that's where your heart is, Anita. Like, yeah, oops, sorry, you're dead. Sorry,
I
sorry.
do care. I do care. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand. I could probably not live with myself if I would hit somebody and kill them. Like
See, that's different.
I can hardly even stand if I hit like a squirrel. Like even that drives me nuts.
See, you and I relate to that together, but that's very different. That's very different than your voice and your tone. Your voice and your tone. It didn't seem like you cared. So I believe I have some responsibility for everybody that is driven around you, everybody you drive around. I believe I have some degree of responsibility. If that woman, and if you get in an accident because you're not paying attention, you'll have a good reason. I'm sure you will. Like Rosanna does, like Angela does. They all have good reasons. I will feel I have some degree of responsibility because if I would have just pushed Anita just a little harder, if I would have just said, like I tried to be nice, like it's a podcast about driving. Like, are you a good driver or not? Like I would think that people would go ahead, but they don't. The worst drivers don't even think. They're just like, what? I don't even realize it. And then when it came up that, yeah, there were people that were, yeah, concerned about it, I said, has that changed your driving? No. Dismissive. No. Now, obviously, I'm not a woman. So men, they're wired and programmed to protect women. That's what they are. So I have a wife and I have grandchildren, so it could be one of my daughters and one of my grandchildren that you could go ahead and do because you're just not paying attention. Or it could be a total stranger that I'm not aware of. So when you go ahead and dismiss, you don't like when other people dismiss you, but you dismiss other people. You don't even recognize it, I'm guessing. You don't even think, like, what, me? I'm not a dismissive. Are you kidding? You have an opportunity, gentle, nice, kind, compassionate, caring. So did you think about that? Did you think about that video at all? Did it change your drive? No. Total dismissiveness. So if you die, Anita, in a car accident, that's going to suck. But you know what? You're an adult, whatever. But if somebody else dies because of you, I bear some level of responsibility for that. Do you understand that?
I don't know that I totally agree with that.
I didn't ask you if you agreed. I didn't ask if you agreed. I asked you, do you understand it? The answer is you do not. I do not understand that, Mark. Okay. Simple question, simple answer. Nora, do you understand that?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think like to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah. Do you know why she kind of understands it, Anita?
maybe. Not
Why?
100% sure.
Rosanna, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you're aware of something and you don't if you don't deal with it, then you feel, I guess you have a responsibility to say something.
Elaine, do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. It comes back into the life vision.
So, who was it? Stephen Curtis Chapman, I think, one of the big singers. His 16-year-old son backed over the 3-year-old daughter, ran her over. She died. Can any of you feel that?
Yeah.
I mean, that little boy who got crushed by a skid steer, like a bobcat. Like he got run over by his older brother. What's that going to do to the, I don't know, 8-year-old or 9-year-old that did that? He will never ever forget that. I don't know what that's going to do. That increases his probability of alcohol and drugs. Why? Because he's not paying attention. He's not paying attention to what's going on. It's life and death. And so when people daily make reasons and excuses for what they're doing, the reason I didn't go ahead and follow through with something I said is because of this. The reason I didn't get this done is because of this. The reason that I was this and this, there's always a reason. Their brains are like dumb squirrels. Like there's always a reason. If you can't take ownership of something small, there's no way in the world you're going to take ownership of something big. But life has a way of teaching you. But none of us know. We don't, because none of us are God. None of us are God. None of us will ever know and come back. None of you will ever go ahead and come back and say, Mark, I just want to thank you for caring enough about Anita and about the people around her. And because there's a woman and 3 children that are now alive because of your willingness to care about Anita and care about the situation, to drive this thing home. None of you will ever thank me for that, ever. It won't happen. Why? Because women don't, because they don't see it. They're not willing to go ahead and drive it home because they don't want to go ahead and have somebody upset with them. Are you kidding? We're talking life and death here. That's what we're talking. Mark's willing to do it. He's willing, like Stan says, he's willing to go. What's another reason none of you will ever thank me? Because you don't
Not
know if
sure.
somebody, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say not sure.
The reason is because nobody died. When people actually listen to me, like, people don't die. No, they could, and accidents happen. Trust me, I understand. I mean, I had one of my grandsons who's just reckless, just a reckless boy, doesn't listen. And he almost drowned in our pond. Fortunately, Kenny was there and his mom was there, and Kenny executed with absolute precision. He let him go under a couple times, told him once. Did he listen? Nope. Just not paying attention, almost died in our pond. Did Kenny thank me? No. Do I expect him to? No. But I anticipated this is not hard. I mean, what do people use with their brains? They don't even think. They don't even think. I said, Kenny, Amish kids, they're raised with risk. They just are. English kids, not so much. So with the English kids, you have to be more careful with them. You can't allow them to go ahead. And I wasn't there when it happened. And the dad is a goofball, just dumb squirrel. Well, I thought, he's right there and he's not paying attention to his son, just not paying attention, letting his wife do it or, Kenny do it. Are you kidding? And if he would have drowned, it'd have been Ginger Ann or Kenny's fault. And then I can get some attention and energy because, my son died. And it was somebody else's fault. It's like, who thinks like a lot of people do? So it goes back and I do this. I mean, it's very intentional. It's very intentional. I go back and when I see something, when people's lives are at risk, especially children, and it happens all kinds of times. And it's really ripe on my mind because there's a 22-year-old girl just up the street. Every time I go and play pickleball, I see the burned and I see flowers and all these things because she got in a car with a guy and he's reckless and stupid. Every day I see that. Every single day. And the stupid squirrels will be, well, he was running from police. I don't do that. It's just like people, I don't know what to do with it all. I don't know what to do with everything I see. I just don't. People lie and deceive. And I'm glad that I really am because it took it up to another whole level, a whole nother level. And I love going to another whole level. I'll never forget it. And so I don't know what to do with everything I see. And it's getting more and more. It's more and more. I'm like, so be nice, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Well, it's not my responsibility if somebody dies. Really? And then I go and try to explain it, but it still doesn't work. And then I try to go ahead and use fun and funny, and that doesn't work. So it's like, okay, now I make a choice, and the choice is going to be really simple. I am going to go ahead and pay so much, and I'll get no benefit. Because if people actually listen, nobody dies. And if nobody dies, then nobody's thankful because people just say, well, Mark's just overreacting. Is he? Is he? I mean, if this video got out, this video got out to all the Amish, do you know how many lives it would save? Neither do I. How many crosses are there on the road? Like, how can you be an Amish parent and have your kids, they're drinking, they're driving, and they're driving drunk, and people laugh about it? Like, how can you do that? And how can you let your friend, do you not care about anybody? Does life not have any value at all? Like, are you kidding? It's a precious little 2-year-old boy. He's at a family reunion. Or maybe he's 18 months. Everybody thinks everybody else is watching. And he drowns in like a foot of water. Those parents are never going to go ahead and forget that. There's so much guilt that will be all over the place. Why wasn't I thought you were like, there's just so much. Those kids will never be as safe. Those brothers and sisters. Oh, you mean the 2 or 3 Amish kids that got hit going to school? the person wasn't drunk, just not paying attention. Like, I, I just I don't get the cavalier attitude, like, whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. It all sits there. It just sits there, and I'm like, can nobody see this? Like, it's just a little bit of caution, just a little bit of attention, just a little bit of ownership, just not straight up to missing everything. Like, what is wrong with people? And these are people crying to be for crying out loud. Accidents happen. I get it. I do. I really do. And it's sad when it does, but stupid. Like, kids are going to be kids. I get it. What you should try is to anticipate it. You know, stuff happens on the road that you can't. But to be stupid, and the thing is, that's tough is if somebody doesn't take it and say, I'm going to change, I'm going to do better. If you've done the best you can do and you're a safe driver or you're safe in anything, you know, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt without question. But me saying this makes me a better driver. It just does. And around here, it's just hard because there's people walking, there's people on bikes, there's, you know, carriages, there's like, it's crazy. It is such a dangerous place to drive for other people. I mean, it's all it is 1 second, and you're just. So if people think I'm judging them, I'm not. I'm observing things. If people think this is for them, I mean, imagine what would happen if I were to hit somebody. Holy cow. So it's not a judgment. It's not at all. That's not the heart. Often people who think other people are judging them, like, he's judging me. The reason they think that is because they're just super judgmental and no, they just don't realize it. Yeah. Or they've never been a father or a grandfather or a husband. And the amount of responsibility that you have as a husband, you should have as a husband and as a father and a grandfather is extreme. So sorry it went so long. Sorry for the intensity. I don't know. Hopefully it'll help me. Hopefully maybe others. I don't know. But the daily stuff, it's the daily stuff. It's the little disciplines. You want to change the little disciplines. Don't explain yourself so much. Don't rationalize so much. Be harder on yourself. If you're harder on yourself, reality won't have to be. So hopefully this has been helpful. Any of you have anything else you want to share before we're done?
Nope.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it. We'll see you. Bye.